Hi student friends, I am Dr. B.Z. Kulkarni, Head Department of Political Science, KLE Societies, Basoprabhu Kore Arts, Science and Commerce College, Chikodi. Today we shall discuss powers and functions of the governor. India has adopted parliamentary system of government both at the center as well as in the states. The essence of parliamentary system of government is the existence of two executives. One is the nominal executive and another one is the real executive. The President of India is nominal executive. He is a constitutional head. He has no real or effective powers. On the other hand, Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers is the real executive. In the state also, Governor is the nominal executive. He is a constitutional head. Chief Minister and his Council of Ministers is the real executive. Of course, under the Constitution, Governor has been given enormous powers. He has legislative powers, executive powers, financial powers. He also enjoys discretionary powers. But we must remember that he does not exercise all these powers independently. Before we discuss powers and functions of the governor, it is essential for us to know other aspects relating to office of the governor. Article 153 of the Indian Constitution says that there shall be a governor for each state. According to Article 155 of the Indian Constitution, the governor shall be appointed by the President by warrant under his hand and seal. Article 157 specifies the qualifications which the governor must possess. They are: he must be a citizen of India, he should be above 35 years of age, he should not hold any office of profit under the central government or state government or any local bodies, he shall not be a member of either House of Parliament or state legislature. Article 156 provides for the term of the governor. It lays down the governor shall hold office during the pleasure of the president. Usually, governor holds office for a term of 5 years from the date on which he enters upon his office. Then Article 159 says that before entering upon his office, governor has to take oath of office and secrecy in the presence of Chief Justice of High Court to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. As I stated in the beginning that governor has enormous powers under the Constitution. So his powers can be discussed under 4 heads. First, executive powers. Article 154 of the Indian Constitution says all executive powers of the state shall be vested in governor and to be exercised by him either directly or through officers subordinate to him in accordance with the Constitution. Article 163 states that there shall be a council of ministers with chief minister as its head to aid and advise the governor in the discharge of his constitutional obligations or responsibilities. According to Article 164 of the Indian Constitution, Chief Minister shall be appointed by the Governor and other ministers shall be appointed by the Governor on the advice of the Chief Minister. As executive head of the state, it is the responsibility of the Governor to send fortnightly report about the situation in the state. In case he reports situation in the state such that it is difficult to run state administration in accordance with provision of the Constitution, proclamation of emergency can be made by the President, under which the administration of the state is taken over by the President, better to say Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers. Governor also makes key appointments in the state. He appoints Advocate General, Chairman and members of Karnataka Public Service Commission, and also appoints Vice Chancellors. Governor has immense legislative powers. Governor is an integral part of state legislature. He exercises various legislative powers. First, he summons, prorogues the legislature and dissolve state legislative assembly. Second, he addresses state legislature at the commencement of the new session after each general election as well as budget session every year. Third, he is fully empowered to send messages to the state legislature on a matter pending before it or otherwise. Fourth, Governor nominates 1/6 of the members to the Legislative Council from those persons who having special knowledge or practical experience in the field of science, art, literature, and social services. Fifth, every bill passed by the state legislature must receive his assent. No bill becomes an act without his signature. Last, Governor has power to issue ordinances when the state legislature is not in session. Then Governor has some financial powers. The annual budget of the state is laid before the state legislative assembly with the approval of the Governor. No proposal for higher taxation or greater expenditure can be discussed in the state legislature without prior permission of the Governor. Besides, the Governor may place supplementary budgets before the legislature. Now, the fundamental question is, what is the exact role of the Governor in our Constitution? There are two contradictory views on this issue. One school maintains the view that the Governor is a mere constitutional head, a rubber stamp, or a post office between his cabinet and the President. The other school, which views that Governor is not mere a constitutional ruler, in many occasions where the Governor can act on his behalf without seeking advice of the Council of Ministers. Some of those occasions are the selection of a chief minister, dismissal of ministry, dissolution of the state legislative assembly, asking information from the chief minister relating to legislative and administrative matters, reserving bills passed by the state legislature for the assent of the president, and advising the president for the proclamation of emergency under Article 366 of the Constitution. We may sum up the role of the governor in our Constitution by stating that he is to serve as a federal link between the center and the state. B.J. Kher rightly said that a governor can do a great deal of good if he is a good governor, and he can do a great deal of mischief if he is a bad governor, in spite of the very little powers given to him under the Constitution. Thank you.